So Marlon has done a second response. The first response, he was very blunt and made it clear he only cares about Yonna, and he feels, sorry for her, and also like the situation between him and Indiyah is not a situation that needs to be addressed. He made that very clear. And, I feel like that first response was authentic and how he truly felt. Whereas this second response that he's done, it just seems a bit staged. It seems like he's been paying attention to social media, the comments, what people are saying, possibly having conversations with his loved ones or just people that's close to him, And, sometimes when you converse with other people, especially the ones that's close to you, they may give you a bit of advice of how to come back and do another response or just address the situation. And that's sometimes how people can be influenced to change their tone. But the change, like just his whole comeback, the second response is a bit off for me. I feel like he can be telling the truth when it comes to certain events that has happened. Example, him and Yonna weren't together at the time that he kissed Indiyah. I feel like that can be true. And he was also speaking about a marathon stream where he streamed for 30 days straight and just kept the camera on. So he didn't stop the stream. And I think Yonna was in the stream at some point in time, and he only spoke to her for like an hour, I think, when the stream ended. Something along them lines. He basically mentioned that in the second response. Now, I feel like all of that can be true. Maybe they weren't chopping it up or talking together, talking to each other, taking each other seriously at that time. Maybe there's truth in that. Who knows? I feel like possibly there is. But everything else seems a bit off, especially when he said something like, he mentions that he feels it's embarrassing him kissing some, a girl in public, in the restaurant, whatever. He mentioned something. I can't remember quote unquote exactly what he said, but he basically said that it's embarrassing, yeah? The first video, he didn't say that. He was more concerned and annoyed with the person hiding behind the bush and recording them. So I just feel like, that's just a prime example of how he's contradicting what he said in the first video. And people do that sometimes, they contradict themselves and it's fine. It's just the internet. Everyone makes mistakes. It's not really a big deal like that. People's going to make mistakes and everyone's going to have an opinion, especially on the internet. Do you know what I mean? Whether they do content, write in the comments, do reels, whatever the weather, it's just like everyone's going to have an opinion. Everyone may not say their opinion, but everyone has one. And it's fine. I feel like it's not a big deal, the kiss that happened. And I feel like it's not, in everyday life, this happens. People kiss people. It's not a big deal. But when it comes to the internet, celebrities cheating and just being exposed, it is a big deal. The internet can make small things into a big deal. And as I've said so many times, I don't feel like what Indiyah done is right. I've said that in my other videos. I don't agree with it, and I don't feel like it's right that this becomes a gender war, like men versus women and who's right and who's wrong. I just feel like it's happened, it's their business. Indiyah's come out, she's taken accountability, and I like that. Just she just came out and said, I did it. Like, I did it, I'm out. That's basically the tone that she set, She came out, took accountability, said she won't be commenting further. And that's that. She's gone about her business. We ain't heard nothing from her. Whereas with Marlon, he keeps going in circles, explaining himself. And it's kind of like, now you're just talking a bit much and you're just over explaining. And now you're going in circles and muddling things up. And it's just like you're making yourself seem a bit like a fraud, kind of, in a way, because you're just contradicting yourself. And, I feel like us as individuals, we can make as much statements as we want. We can come out, just like people come out and they speak how many times they want. That's not the problem. I just feel like be real about stuff. if you've gone and, you know, you've read a bit of the comments, or you've had a bit of advice from your loved ones, say that. Don't come back and act like it's you that's feeling this way, that you've had a change of heart. Because the first video, you can just tell he was not bothered at all, you know. So, and he even refers to Indiyah again in the second response as just some any girl, like, oh yeah, I was kissing a girl. It's just rude. I said it in my first video, like, that's just not how you address people. Indiyah is not some any random girl, do you know what I mean? And even if she was, the fact that you're kissing her, you're into her, you're doing this, you're doing that, like, use a proper form of, like, address her in the right way. Yeah, that's just that. I'm here for when it comes for, I am all for respect for women, and that's just that. We all deserve respect. So in certain, it just depends on the woman, but yeah, it depends on the woman and the circumstance, but that's a topic for a different time. It's just a kiss, like, you knew what you was doing. Apparently there's even a series on Inside, I think, what is it called, Inside UK or something like that, that's meant to be coming out. Now, I've never seen that series before, but I'm going to be locked into that. So I saw like other people on there. The first one, I think there was some YouTubers, Maya Mills was on there, and then some next girl from that was on Love Island. I can't remember all the names, but I saw some stars going on it on Netflix, but I just haven't seen it. But apparently with this, there's a new one coming out with Indiyah and Marlon in there, and I feel like we're going to see some action. We're probably going to see how everything unfolds between them, maybe a bit of tension, flirting, who knows. We're going to see it, and I feel like a lot of people's going to be making content about it, and everyone's just going to have an opinion. So I'm definitely going to tune into that and make some content on it. I just feel like everyone, I even saw like a stream of some, I can't remember the guy's name, he's from America, and he was basically saying, oh, everybody needs to get onto her more than him because she's the one that cheated. No, they're both in the wrong. It's like, he knew that Indiyah was with Dami, and there's no way of denying that, especially as they're celebrities in the public eye. Everyone knows who's with who. Do you know what I mean? There's no way that he didn't know. So he's definitely in the wrong as well. And that's my stance on that. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. Bye.